Hi everyone, this is Barbara. Today we have a joints and glands. So get your mat out, a soft blanket if you need one, blocks, and we will get started. Okay. So we're going to start out in Makarasana. Going to strengthen our diaphragm, and we are going to work with our breath, connecting our breath to all of our movements. So I invite you to come to the floor or to the mat, to the floor. You can make an upside down U if you need this to wrap around under your arms to lift your chest up off the floor. You're flat on your abdomen touching the ground. Your hip bones are pressed into the mat. Your feet are wider than hip distance apart. Your toes are pointed out. Hands on top of opposite elbows. Our forehead will rest on the middle of our arm. If that bothers you, you might want to put a soft blanket on there or any small thin blanket. And bringing your arms in a little bit will lift that chest up off the floor, making it easier for you to breathe. If you feel uncomfortable, use the blanket either on top of your arms or across your chest, not near your throat. You don't want to restrict your throat. So we'll start out with Makarasana. Your head will remain down, focusing on your breath, that deep diaphragmatic yogi breath. I'm in hero pose, you are in Makarasana. Enjoy this pose. This is a fabulous pose. Breathing in through your nostrils, bringing that air deep into your abdomen. Feel your abdomen rise. And fall. Relaxing, taking account of your body from crown to toe. Deep, smooth breath. Inhaling, and that inhale matches your exhale. Your inhale flows into your exhale. It is continuous without pause. And your breath is silent. A silent breath means a silent mind. Good job. Good job. Notice your breath and your abdomen pushing against the mat, not forced. And notice the breath coming around the sides of your body and up around to your back. And as you exhale, your belly deflates, it comes away from the floor. And you're relaxing that jaw, relaxing your neck, extending your crown and pressing downward with your tailbone, the lower half of your body, elongating that spine, making room for prana to come in. Stretching out your spine. Good. Right now, I invite you to set an intention for your practice. And remember that this is a joints and glands practice, so we're sending like lubrication, healthy prana to all joints of our body. Right now, we are in, as I tape this, spring going into fall. Into summer. So we want to work with our breath and work with our asana to make a steady and comfortable seat. And the first sutra is freeing the mind from all afflictions and becoming one-pointed. Complete mastery over the roaming tendencies of the mind. Connecting our breath to our movements. And when you're ready, rolling over onto your back and stretching out head to toe. Let me just adjust this a little. So here we are. Arms come up overhead. Legs are about hip distance apart. And we're stretching towards the back wall with our hands. And we're pushing towards the front wall with our heels. Then as you exhale, relax. Inhale, extend. Exhale, relax. Keeping that breath even. Our movement follows our breath, not the other way around. Inhale, elongate, and exhale, relax. On your next inhale, take your right hand and right leg and stretch them in opposite directions. And as you exhale, relax. On your next inhale, stretching that left hand and that left foot in the opposite direction. And relax on the exhale. Inhaling right, extend, and exhale, relax. Inhaling left, extend, and relax. Good. Bringing your arms down beside you, bending your legs the width of the mat, and we'll windshield wiper our knees back and forth. Inhaling up and exhaling to one side. Inhaling up And exhaling our knees to the opposite side. Shoulders are flat on the mat. Do a few more of these at your own breath, being sure that you balance by doing the same number of bends on either side. So if you started on the right, be sure to end on the left. And coming back to center, maybe rolling over onto one side and slowly coming up, slowly coming up onto your knees. Good. We'll come into table pose. We have our knees underneath our hips. Our hands, fingers are spread, wrist under shoulders, fingers pointed forward. The eye of our elbow is facing towards each other. You can grip into the mat if you have a problem with your wrist to take the pressure off of your wrist. As we inhale, our chin comes up, our hips come up, and our belly extends. And as we exhale, we round our back, chin to chest. Inhaling, cow, chin up, hips up, chin. And exhaling, cat, chin to chest. Maybe on your next cat, when you exhale, engage your pelvic floor, rounding up, pointing your pubic bone towards your belly button, your navel, engaging that pelvic floor, then relaxing on the inhale. You can also be on your fist if your wrist hurt. Engage your pelvic floor, build that container, that root, which holds all the other chakras. Pulling up on your pelvic floor, squeezing your glutes and squeezing your perineum. It's the motion of holding your urine in when you really have to go to the bathroom, but you squeeze everything together, pulling up on that perineum. We'll do 2 more at your breath. And when you're ready, sitting back onto your feet can stay together or toes together, knees to the edge of the mat. And then reaching out. You can always, if your feet don't reach your hips, you might want to put a blanket. Your glutes don't come down to your feet. You might want to put a blanket there so that you're rooted. Your arms come out in front of you. Your forehead goes to the mat for child's pose. staying in that child pose as long as you need that stretch. And coming back to child's pose whenever you need to come out of it, of any posture that may be stinging or hurtful or too strenuous, to relax your body. Bringing your neck, elongating it down to your tailbone. And when you've had enough, coming back up to table. Good. And here in table, we'll bring that right foot back, toe to the floor, stretching back with our heel. Good. Bringing our left arm forward, gripping the mat with our right hand to protect our wrist. And lifting our right leg, if you can. Balancing the left. Feel the energy coming in through your left fingertips, all the way down to your right toes. On your exhale, bring both down. And then inhale that left foot back, stretching back, stretching that leg. Good. Then bringing that right arm up in front of you, stretching forward, stretching out your fingers. And if it's in your practice, lifting that left foot up off the floor, trying to keep a straight back, neck in line with your spine, relaxed. And feeling that breath coming in through your fingertips, all the way through your body, out them left toes. Knowing or noticing where your breath is going. Inhaling, and as you exhale, maybe pull up on your perineum, connect with that pelvis, that container. Exhaling, bringing that right hand down and your left leg. Good. Then bringing your left hand in front of your face, repositioning yourself, taking this right arm and twisting from your waist on your exhale, twisting your spine. These are our movements of our spine, limbering us up, getting us ready to receive breath and prana and a comfortable seated position. You can look up at your hand or you can look straight ahead, being mindful of your neck. Then exhaling, bring that hand back down, placing the right hand in front of your face. Inhaling, twisting from your waist with your left hand all the way up and looking to the left. Noticing where your breath is. Is it still smooth? Is it even? And continuous. Then exhaling that left hand down, curling your toes. Good. You can come up for your first downward dog. You can also do your downward dog. If you have short arms, I have really short arms. So this is good to begin with. You might always need blocks. That's good because this is your practice. Say you are mindful of how your body feels. And as you lift, your hands are pushed out in front of you for a little bit. Your top of your body's in line from your tail to your crown. You can bend your knees if you need to. Then walk your dog by pressing down on alternate heels. Checking in with your breath. And as you start to connect here, stretching out your thighs, come to stillness, pressing down into the mat. Your heels may or may not touch the mat. You can bend your knees if you need to. And as you inhale, pressing up with your hip bones towards the ceiling. And when you exhale, maybe again engaging that pelvic floor. Inhale, relax. On your next inhale, push those hips up. Curl in your pelvic floor. Your pubic bone pointing up towards your navel. And exhale and inhale. We'll inhale and relax here. One more. On the exhale, we'll push up with our toes and walk our toes up to meet our hands for a forward fold. Our forward fold is relaxed. You can bend your knees or keep them straight. Your head, your eyes are looking through to in between your calves. And your neck is relaxed. You don't want your neck up. You've hinged forward from your waist or hips and slowly roll up into Tadasana. Good job. So come into Tadasana. Rock back and forth on your feet. On your blade, your second toe up to your heel. Pressing down on all four corners of your feet. Shoulders come up and back. Your shoulder blades are pointing towards each other. Maybe scoot your heels out a little bit. And when you do that, you can feel the engagement from the ground all the way up to your pelvis, all the way up to your crown. Your hands can be pointed forward or to your sides. Your eyes can be open or closed. Closed is more of a challenge. And we're breathing in and we're breathing out. Good. Breathing in and breathing out. Or inhaling and exhaling. On your next inhale, we'll bring our arms up overhead. Then exhale, our arms back down. Crossing opposite hands in front. Inhaling up. If you want, you can hinge back from your hips. And then exhaling. Inhaling your arms up. And then exhaling down. Maybe bring your feet a little bit out further. Excuse me, I'm going to put this down. Good. Our feet are a little bit wider than hip width apart. And as we inhale, we'll bring our right arm up. And then as we exhale, we'll bring it down. Now, when you inhale, as soon as you start to exhale, you bring that arm back down. You will see how you're breathing by the movement of your arm. Everyone's arms will be different according to your breath. And then you might want to elongate your inhale, or focus on elongating your exhale. Evening out the breath. Pelvis is neutral. Concentrating on your breath. Making room for new prana to enter our body, new energy. Come to stillness without moving. Notice if you feel any difference between your right and your left arm. Have we created more space in the right arm, the moving arm? Then going to the opposite side, balancing. Inhale up. As soon as we begin to exhale, continuous flow, our arm lowers. Goes into the inhale. If your breath is not even, you might want to count in your head. Smooth, even, continuous. Is your abdomen rising when you inhale and lowering or flattening on your exhale? Not supposed to look like anything but your breath. And placing both arms down, noticing if you feel a difference in the left arm now. Good job. Feet together, or into Tadasana. Arms come up, and then we swan dive down. Pressing back with both feet, coming into a plank. On your inhale or exhale, back into downward dog. Inhale, plank. On your breath, exhale, downward dog. Inhale, coming to your plank. You can lower straight down or Ashta-pranam. Bring your knees down. Flatten those back feet. If you need to, you could keep your feet up. Lowering your chest. Arms are pinned in by your side, and then your chin. So arms, chest, chin. Your arms are underneath your shoulders. On your next inhale, coming up into baby cobra, Bhujangasana. You're not leaning on your hands. You're coming up from your waist. Then exhaling down. Inhaling up. And exhaling down. Bringing your arms beside you. And getting comfortable into the mat. Maybe lifting your arms and your upper body. Coming into locust. Then inhaling down. Sorry, that was exhaling down. Inhale up. You might want to add your feet. So your arms are back, your legs are up, your chin is in line with your neck, but up, you're bent. You're coming up from your hips and then relaxing everything. You can exhale on the way up. I think we exhale. I feel more comfortable with the inhale, but whatever. Notice your breath. Where is it going? I inhale up and then I exhale down. Bringing our arms beside us, coming back up into hero pose. You can also go into child's pose again. Good. Curling your toes, sitting back on your heels, moving that fleshy part of your legs out. And inhaling back up. Palms come to the floor, downward facing dog. Walking your hands up to forward fold. Relaxing your neck. Slowly rising up. Good. Separating your legs a little bit. We'll do some coat sleeves. And just lifting the opposite heel. Just to stretch out our back a little bit. Good job. And then coming to stillness, bringing our feet back together. We're in Tadasana, shoulders up and back. Inhaling our arms to our back, clasping your fingers. And coming into, exhale into a forward fold, hinging from your hips. And as you're in, halfway lift. Your back is flat. Bringing your arms up, overhead, over as high as you can. Inhaling, bringing your arms back down. And your next inhale, coming back up. Good. Hands on your hips. Bringing one knee up. And then on your exhale, lower. Inhale. And lower. Inhale. And lower. Either side. Inhale. And lower. And maybe swinging this foot forward and back. Placing your hands where you have more balance. And then coming to stillness. You can do this by a wall, with a chair, with a dowel. Good job. And coming back to stillness, shaking it out. Bringing your weight into the opposite foot. We'll swing this opposite foot back and forth, noticing the difference in your sides. And coming in front, left to right, checking in with your breath. Our breath doesn't speed up with the movement. Oops, sorry. Oh, forgot to lift the knees. Let's lift them. Lift and lower. The lifting and lowering, we want to try and do with our breath. So inhale, whoops, and exhale. Whatever works for you. Exhale. Good job. Shake out them legs. And then with our feet a little bit high, wider, we're going to move our hips in a circular motion. Like our hips are swabbing out the inside of a rain barrel or a wine barrel. Trying to connect our breath, exhaling back maybe, inhaling forward, keeping the rest of our body neutral, and coming to stillness, going in the opposite direction. Good job. Coming to stillness, shaking it out. Bringing our feet back together. We're going to practice sitting. You can even take a block and do this. I like the block because the block engages our pelvis and reminds us to engage our pelvis. So you can bring the block in between your thighs. And when you squeeze the block, exhale, squeeze the glutes, pull up on the perineum, pointing your pubic bone up towards your navel. And as you inhale, relax everything. Exhale, squeezing everything. And then inhaling, relax. Exhale, squeeze your glutes, squeeze your pelvis, your perineum. Pull up on your pubic bone towards your navel, engaging this entire area, pubic area, your entire pelvis. Squeeze. Good. And then inhale. The shoulders are back, down from our ears. On your next exhale, well, first we'll inhale, elongate, and then exhale, sitting back, squeezing the block, pulling up on your pubic bone, your pelvis, you're squeezing your perineum and your glutes. Your knees are coming down, but not over your toes. Inhaling up. Let me shut this. Room from God. It's a good life. Exhaling, sitting, squeezing that block, which also keeps your knees separated. You don't want your knees collapsing, and you have a problem with your knees. Checking that your knees are not over your toes. Then inhale, coming up. And when you have the bottom half of your body rooted from your feet up to your waist, exhale. Straightening up. You can bring your arms up beside you where you're in Utkatasana, which is a seated pose. Seated pose. And then exhaling, coming up. Or inhaling. Exhaling, arms are up. Sitting back. And inhaling, release. Exhaling, sitting back, arms come up where they can remain by your side on your hips. And then inhaling up. You can remove the block and we'll come into a wide leg stance, about the width of standing on the long side of your mat. You have your legs are wide. Your knees are in line with your toes. You don't want to hurt those toes. And when we do this, it's a wide leg forward fold. Feel free to bend your knees, put a block in front of you. We're inhaling up. And as we hinge forward from our hips, we're extending. We're down here in table. And then when we lose that connection to our spine, when we start to bend, then I think that's as far as we go. So exhaling, you could bring your fingertips to the block. You can bend your knees, keeping that back flat. You can bring your hands to the mat, softening the back of your knees. Inhaling, reaching over to your left foot, framing your left foot with your hands. Your belly is resting on your left thigh. And take a couple breaths here. Pulling up on your hips to elongate your leg and all the way up through your back. Inhaling back to center. And on your next exhale, twisting, noticing how your breath feels when you twist. You're engaging that diaphragmatic muscle. Feel your belly rest on your right thigh now. Elongating. Stretching down with your hips, feeling the stretch from your foot all the way up to your waist and through your spine. Your neck is in line with your spine, relaxing. And then inhaling, coming back to center. Then maybe scooting your feet closer. We're going to come all the way up. Good. And then bring our feet back together. Okay. We'll do some tummy tucks for our abdomen. So we'll lean. We'll put our feet about hip width apart. All right. And then leaning over, bending our knees, holding onto our thighs or our pants. We will take it's an anti-shrug. Our shoulders come up by our ears. And this is a preparation. It's a tummy tuck for Agnisara, which is a practice that engages. We have the chronic hub, which is our navel, that we work on that gives you immense benefits. So right now, this is our abdominal, bending those knees, shoulders up by your ear. Inhaling, our belly drops and our chin comes up a little. And exhaling, push that air out of our bellies, our belly button to the spine, chin to chest. Inhaling, relax, drop that belly, bring that chin up. And then exhale, tuck your chin, pull in on everything here, pull in on your belly. And then inhale and breathing with that 5-point breath. Exhaling. Now you can just do the tummy tuck where you're bringing that belly in and out as you breathe. I find it natural to just engage my pelvic floor. So if you can, when you exhale, squeeze your glutes, excuse me, empty your abdomen, pull your pelvis up, your pubic bone toward your navel. And then as you inhale, you release all of that. Exhale, pulling everything up. And then exhaling. We're not locking, we're continuing with our breath, our continuous breath. Do four more of these, engaging that pelvic floor, engaging your abdomen, and breathing with your 5-point breath. And when you're done relaxing, slowly rolling up, face the front of your mat. Good. Shaking everything out. Good job. Again, let's coat sleeve. Good. Bringing your feet together. Move this. Arms come up. Swan dive forward, forward fold, Uttanasana. Bringing your hands forward, feet go back into plank or downward facing dog. Bringing your right knee across. So your right bottom of your leg is parallel to your left leg, which is stretching back until you feel that stretch in your right hip for pigeon. And you can have a block here for your head. Or if your head goes to the mat, then you can just do that without the block and play with this, the level of your block. Bringing your arms down to dolphin. Stretching, placing your head on the block and feeling that stretch in that right side. You want your hips even. And when you find your position, if one hip is touching the mat, not the other, place a blanket under it to even them out. Then just rest in this position, or you can come all the way down. I find that too much of a stretch in my hip. So we'll relax here and notice how your breath is. Is it still smooth and even? Is it continuous? Is it still silent? The top of your back foot is flat. Then curling your toes, we'll release it by bringing our arms back up, uncurling that leg, coming back into downward dog, and stretching from the foot all the way up your torso to the fingertips. And on your next exhale, bringing that left foot parallel to your body, up on your hands, stretching back with that right foot, checking that it's straight back, coming down onto your dolphin arms and feeling that stretch now in your left hip. Stay where you are. Have an alarm I forgot to set. Sorry about that. So as we are in pigeon, making sure that you do your poses the same on either side. Pressing your head into the mat or into your blocks. You can still stretch out with your arms, feeling the stretch in your left thigh. This is a deep hip opener. And inhaling, bringing your hands back, removing the block, bringing your left foot back to meet your right, maybe coming into a final downward dog, stretching out, maybe a flow, bringing those hands under your shoulders for downward facing dogs, and maybe a plank. You can do this on your knees. Come onto your chest and your chin and come up into cobra. Back into Salambasana, locust. And then rolling onto your back for a twist, an inversion, and a relaxation. So, shaking out our legs, coming side to side. Arms are out by our side, scooting our hips to the right, bringing both our knees in, and bringing both knees over, hip to hip on top of hip, to the left. You can place your hands on your body and feel your breath, or stretch your arms out, shoulders are down. You can look over your opposite hand. If not, keep your head neutral. And notice how your breath is now. Inhaling, bring your knees back up to center. Realign yourself. Now bringing your hips over to the left. And bringing your knees down to the right. And holding on to your body. Or bringing your arms up beside you. Hip on hip. You can gaze over your left or opposite hand. And we'll take some deep breaths here. Shoulders are reaching your ears. And bringing both your knees back up. Centering yourself. Bringing your knees in. And walking gently back. Bringing both feet up. 4. You know what, we could use a block. We could bring a block under our sacrum, above our tailbone, below our waist. And bring both our feet up. Arms down, shoulders on the mat. 4. Legs up the wall. This inversion is great. It gets all of our blood flowing in the opposite direction. Maybe pointing and flexing our ankles. And circling your ankles out. And circling them back. And coming to stillness. And when you've had enough, bring your legs down, toes to the ground, remove your block, and get ready for Shavasana. And however you take Shavasana, lying on your back, a blanket onto your knees if you have a back problem, a thin blanket onto your head. Hands are beside you, out or in, palms up or palms down. And relaxing. As you relax there, I want you to go into yourself, reconnect to your breath, and I will walk you through a chronic exercise where you connect with all points of your body. Good. So, as you lie there, we'll send this chronic energy to all points of your body. Inhaling up through your toes, all the way up to your crown. Then exhaling from your crown all the way down to your toes. Good. Then we'll inhale from our knees all the way up to our crown. And exhale, sending that breath from our crown out our knees, out or down to our knees. Inhaling from our lower pelvis, our perineum, inhaling, sending that breath all the way up to our crown. And exhaling from our crown down to our perineum. Then inhaling from our navel all the way up through our crown. And exhaling back down to our navel. Inhaling from our sternum, our heart center, up through our crown. Shorter distance, but same breath, same even, continuous breath. And exhaling back to heart center. Inhaling from our fingertips all the way up our arms, across our shoulders, and up through our crown. And exhaling from our crown, down the sides of our neck, across our shoulders, and out our fingertips. Do 2 more of those in through your fingertips. Your arm, across your shoulders, all the way up to your crown, and exhaling back down through to your fingertips. Inhaling from your throat, up through your crown, then exhaling back down to your throat. Inhaling from your nostrils up to the inside corner of your eyes, up to the center of your forehead. And then back down through to the third eye, corner of your inside corner of your eyes, out your nostrils. And then when you're ready, start to wiggle your fingers and your toes and deepen your breath. Maybe reach up overhead. Bring your knees up and windshield wiper them back and forth. Grab your knees and pull them into your chest. And rolling over into a fetal position, sleeping baby. Come onto one side and rest here for a couple breaths. And then slowly placing that top hand on the ground, pushing up, coming into a seated position quietly, remaining inside, remaining with that pranic flow. You can come into a chair, you can come into hero pose or seated pose, whatever you're comfortable with. Inhaling and exhaling. Our spine is straight, our crown is facing the ceiling. Our neck is in line with our spine. Our hands are resting on our thighs. And maybe our thumb and pointer finger are connected in wisdom mudra. And as we inhale and exhale, coming back to our diaphragmatic breath. Maybe using the mantra to concentrate. So hum, I am that. As you inhale, you hear so. Exhale. And stay here as long as you like. Bringing my hands to heart center. I want to thank you for coming and practicing with me. May you be peaceful. May you be happy. May you prosper. May you find love. And may you give love. Namaste.